Hey everyone, Andrew the video guy here at Garvey Hyundai. Regenerative braking is an important part of an electrified vehicle's drivetrain, whether it's a hybrid or a full electric vehicle. But it can be kind of confusing. What is it? How do you do it? And all that. So we're gonna dive into that. We're going to get into the driver's seat of this 2025 Hyundai IONIQ 6 and look into the hows and whys of regenerative braking. Now, we're gonna start off by saying that I am not an electrical engineer. I am a video guy. So I can't tell you exactly how the motors in an IONIQ 6 or any other EV turn electrical energy into kinetic energy, except to say magnets and wires, and electromagnetism may as well be magic to me personally. But the interesting thing about electric motors is that if they run backward or something, I don't know, a video guy, then rather than turning electrical energy into kinetic energy, they can do the opposite. Take kinetic energy, the forward motion of your car, and turn it into electrical energy, recharging your battery. That is what regen braking is. At its core, at the technology, it is reversing the use of the motor to turn it into a generator so that it slows down your car and puts that electricity back into your battery. Now, in a hybrid, this means that it's going into a small battery that is then used to launch the car from a stop so that you're not using as much gas. In a battery electric vehicle, that is going back into the main battery and extending your range. So how do you actually use regenerative braking? Well, the first way is the simplest way, and it's the way you don't even have to think about, and that is to hit the brake pedal. All modern electrified vehicles use what's called blended braking, so that when you hit the brake pedal, first it is taking all of the energy that it possibly can with the motors to put that back into the battery. And then after that, only then does it rely on the friction brakes. But let's say you want to get a little more engaged with how your EV is driving and you want to maximize regenerative braking. This varies with different manufacturers of cars. They're all going to do it differently. I'm going to show you in depth here how to do it on this IONIQ 6. The method is going to be the same for any Hyundai Motor Group vehicle. That's any Hyundai, Kia, or Genesis are going to do it the same way. And that is with the pedals on the back of the wheel here. Right now we are at level 0. If we look in the lower left of my screen right here, that means that if I lift off of the accelerator, we're coasting. It's not changing anything. We're not speeding up, we're not slowing down. We are going exactly as far as Newton's laws of physics let us. Now, I'm going to come up to speed a little bit, and I'm going to pull the paddle on my left here. And now we're at level 1. I let off of the accelerator, and we're slowing down a little. This kind of feels like you're in a car with an automatic transmission that is like engine braking you down just a little bit. We have slowed down faster than we did at level 0, but it's nothing dramatic. This is probably what you'll set it to if you just don't want to worry about regen braking, so that you can kind of lift your foot, coast a little bit, but still be just fine. Now, if you really want to step it up, then we're going to go up to level 2. Again, we're going to pull that left side paddle. We see level 2, and I lift off the accelerator, and we're slowing down. If we look on the right, we can actually see the gauge move from power in an upward direction when we were on the accelerator to in a downward direction when we lifted and level 2 is slowing us down. We'll do that one more and we get to level 3. This is almost full power regen as we slow down. There is one more level on this vehicle. We're at max regen now, and what's called I-pedal driving. So I'm going to accelerate up to about 20. I lift off the accelerator. We are rapidly slowed down all the way to a complete stop. This allows full one-pedal driving. Your foot is just on the accelerator, not having to waste time going over to the brake pedal. Now, in an emergency stop, you should still hit the pedal. That was a harder emergency stop than I intended. Obviously, that's there for a reason, but in stop and go driving, or as we see someone coming up right here, they want to go this way, but I was able to come to a stop right there just by lifting off the accelerator. We'll do that one more time. We come up here to the stop sign, lift off the accelerator, and I actually stopped a little bit short of it. Whatever your vehicle, you're going to get used to the level of regen braking and how aggressive it's going to be when you need to slow down. Other vehicles are going to do this in different ways. A Tesla sets the regen level in their touchscreen. Jeep has a max regen button in the Jeep Wrangler 4xe. My Chevy Volt uses a shifter that feels like a conventional car to go down to kind of like level 2 braking, and then has a paddle on the left side for level 3 braking to slow down even faster. Always check your owner's manual, get familiar with what your vehicle does, and go to an empty street and try it out. You're not going to know how much level 2 feels versus level 3 until you are trying it out for yourself. So go somewhere that there's not traffic, set a spot and say, hey, that tree up there, I'm going to try to slow down so that I can come to a stop at that on just regen. But why bother with regen braking anyway? Like, you can just hit the brake pedal. So what if it goes to the friction brakes? Well, the main thing is that it's saving you money. Like, that's a good reason, right? Obviously, when you're slowing down and that electricity goes back into your battery, then that's electricity that you don't have to buy at home or at a public charger. That's free range. But more than that, it also saves wear on your friction brakes. Now, in a conventional car, brake pads last 40 to 50,000 miles. For the average American, that's like 3 years. And then you need to get the pads replaced. In an electric vehicle, yes, it has brakes and brake pads for when you need to do that more rapid stopping. But you can go 100,000 miles, 150,000 miles. You get to the point where I've heard stories of brake pads that fail not because they've worn down, but because the adhesive fails and they just kind of fall apart. Here's a picture of an old brake pad on the right and a new one on the left. The old has maybe 25% wear. This is after 6.5 years and 100,000 miles driven. And if you're thinking, but wait, I'm not touching the brake pedal at all. My brake lights aren't coming on. I don't want to get rear-ended. Regen braking does illuminate the brake lights. What it does is say when you're slowing down by a certain amount, say for Hyundai, they set that threshold at 0.3 Gs. Then the brake lights come on, they let people know behind you that you are slowing down. It's safe. Again, all around, whether it's how it's done at the wheels or done at the brake lights, this is a tried and tested safe technology. Regenerative braking is such an important part of how electrified vehicles work today, saving you wear on your friction brakes, increasing your range, saving you money. I hope that this video has helped you learn a bit more about how this amazing technology works. If you have any more questions, please feel free to talk to any of our amazingly knowledgeable sales consultants. Just give us a call, go online, or stop into Garvey Hyundai today.